Hi, welcome to Eastland English. I'm Robert.
I'm Yudee.
We're going to tell you about our trip to Niagara Falls and use some comparative sentences. Do you remember Niagara Falls?
Of course, that's where we went last spring.
In this video, we will share about our trip to Niagara Falls, Canada. In our story, we will use as many comparative sentences as we can. Yudee, what do you think of when I say comparative sentences?
I think of the form ER then.
Yes, ER then is the standard way of making comparative sentences. Also, we will show you how to make different kinds of sentences. There are many different kinds of comparative sentences, and you'll see in this video how many there are. We'll also give you formulas to follow so that you can make your own comparative sentences. So where is Thailand?
Thailand is here. Now, we live in Thailand, which is farther south than Canada. So, where is Canada?
Aha! Canada is right up here. Canada is farther north than Thailand. Because it's farther north than Thailand, the weather in Canada is colder than in Thailand. And because Thailand is further south than Canada,
the weather in Thailand is hotter than in Canada.
Now let's take a look at the example and the formula for the example. The weather in Canada is colder than, here we have parentheses. Every time I have included parentheses, it means this phrase can be taken out of the sentence and the sentence still makes sense. For our formula, first the subject is the weather in Canada, with weather being uncountable and singular. We need a form of be. What forms of be can you think of?
Am, is, are.
Right. Am, is, and are the forms of be for present tense. Because whether is a fact, then we use present tense. And is a singular form of the verb because whether is an uncountable singular noun. After that we have the adjective cold plus er and than, and for every sentence that is comparative, we need an object. Here, the object is in parentheses, and it can be deleted.
Therefore, we needed much warmer clothes for Canada than for Thailand.
In the case of this sentence, we begin with an adverb. The adverb therefore is a conjunctive adverb, and it can also show comparison and contrast. Next, we have a subject, we, and then the verb. Because it's past tense, we use the past tense form of the verb, and then the adjective plus er, and then a noun. After that, than, and an object. This time the object is also deleted. This object is actually a relative clause. The object pronoun being what. What is informal, and that which is formal or academic.
However, the weather in the springtime is warmer than the weather in the winter.
There is less snow than in the winter. Here is a different form of comparative sentence. This time we're using a noun, and we're using a modifier before that noun. We're also using a pronoun, there. When we have there, we need a form of the verb be. If you remember, the forms for be are am, is, are for the present tense. Because it's a fact, we need the present tense. The pronoun there could be singular or it could be plural. We must look at the object. The object here is snow. Snow is uncountable, so we will use the singular form of the verb. There is less snow in the spring than that which there is in the winter. In Canada, it rains more often in the spring than in the winter.
Do you remember how rainy it was?
Oh yes, I do. I remember how cold it was too. It was cold and rainy. Look at these pictures. Does that look warm to you?
Not at all.
And here we have a completely different form of comparative sentence. We're beginning with a subject, and then we are using a verb, then more or less, and then an adverb, not an adjective. So our subject is it, and that means the weather. Rains is our verb, and we have an S after rain because the weather is a fact, and often is our adverb.
Wow, that looks delicious.
Yes, it does. For airplane food, I was really quite surprised.
Some people think that airplane food is less delicious than home-cooked food.
However, those people don't know my food. Airplane food is far better than my home-cooked food. Which would you rather eat?
Absolutely, the food on the left.
Yeah, I thought so. In this example, we begin with the adverb again, however, and then we have a compound noun. This has a noun with a noun which equals a noun together. That's our subject. Because food is uncountable, we use is. Then we have our first example of an adverb before an adjective. Here, far is an adverb that modifies this irregular adjective. Good, better, best are the forms for this irregular adjective, and the comparative form is better. On the left here are the American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls, and as we pan slowly over to the right, you will see the vastly more beautiful Horseshoe Falls of Canada. The three waterfalls are named the American Falls, here, Bridal Veil Falls, here, and Horseshoe Falls, here. The American Falls is bigger than Bridal Veil Falls.
Let's take a look at a closer shot.
Bridal Veil Falls is smaller than the American Falls. Have a look here. See these? These are people.
They are so small.
The people look really small because the falls are really big, and even though Bridal Veil Falls is smaller than the American Falls, both of them are far, far bigger than these people. Both the American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls are smaller than Horseshoe Falls. Horseshoe Falls is the biggest of the three waterfalls, and Bridal Veil's Falls is the smallest. For this example, we're looking at superlative sentences. Superlative sentences can be used for comparison because you're comparing one thing to everything else. However, they're not called comparative, they're called superlative. For superlative sentences, the keys are the use of the word the and the est after the adjective. Why we add est to the adjective is because it's a short adjective. Now look at this. The extra G here is used because it's a short adjective with a short vowel. The vowel sound is I. It's a short vowel and one syllable, therefore double the consonant after it. Horseshoe Falls is the most powerful waterfall in North America. Let's take a look at its power. Beautiful. And there's a rainbow. Let's take a look at one more example of a comparative sentence. Here we have a noun beginning the sentence that has been modified with more, less, or fewer. We can use this for comparison as well. On the day that we visited Niagara Falls, the weather was warmer than expected.
There are fewer people in the picture on the left than on the right.
We'll look at both of these sentences. In the first sentence, we have a prepositional phrase, on the day, and an adverb clause. An adverb clause is a relative clause that modifies the verb somehow. The weather was hotter than we expected. And here, again, another relative clause.
Why do we have to use was, were, instead of am, is, are?
Great question, Yudee. It's because our adverbial clause fixed the time in the past. Therefore, this is a past tense verb.
I see.
Now we'll look at the second sentence in that slide. We're using there again as our pronoun to begin the sentence. This time we're using are for our verb. Why? Before I told you there can be either singular or plural, so we must look at the noun following. People is plural, and fewer is used for countable, while less would be used for uncountable.
Luckily, the water from the falls made the air cooler.
Yes, as we walked to the falls, I remember how hot it was. We had to take off our jackets. But when we got to the waterfall, it was quite cool. Horseshoe Falls is the most beautiful waterfall I have ever seen. And this, of course, is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen.
You are such a sweet talker.
It's not being a sweet talker if it's true. Here we have one last formula to leave you with, and this is the formula for superlative when the adjective is longer than 2 syllables. Beautiful. 3 syllables. We'll always use the most or the least. If you get the chance to visit either Canada or the USA, we highly recommend visiting Niagara Falls.
It is one of the most romantic places in the world. It may be the best time of your life.
We hope that you enjoyed taking a trip with us to Niagara Falls, Canada.
If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel for more free English videos.
And don't forget to click on notifications so that you will be the first to get our newest videos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.